Namaste, salam, sasrikal. Good evening and a very warm welcome to all present here. On behalf of Mr. Chandrakant Salunkhe, founder and president, SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association, I welcome you at the exclusive and important conference on cybersecurity for enterprises, protecting data, privacy, and monetary laws. The theme of today's event is cybersecurity threats, challenges and solutions for manufacturing industries. Dear friends, in the digital era, robust cybersecurity measures are crucial for enterprises to safeguard their data, privacy, and financial assets. Effective cybersecurity strategies encompass a range of practices, including network security, encryption, access control, and regular security audits. By implementing these measures, organizations can protect their sensitive information from the cyber threats such as data breaches, ransomware attacks, and phishing schemes. Ensuring strong cybersecurity not only prevents monetary loss and operational disruptions, but also help to maintain monetary customer trust and comply with the regulatory requirements, thereby bolstering the overall resilience and reputation of the enterprise. Today's conference is dedicated to share the important information and create awareness about cybersecurity to avoid threats and loss of intellectual properties and monetary assets. Dear friends, you all must be aware that SME Chamber of India, under the dynamic and indomitable leadership of Mr. Chandrakant Salunkhe, who is the founder and president of the Chamber, and he has been constantly on the forefront for policy framework change and its speedy implementation, advocating with the state and the central governments to secure the interest of SMEs and manufacturing industries, emphasizing for giving importance in the ease of doing business for SME sector to make available level playing field to compete with the local and global markets. The Chamber has been providing support services to SMEs and manufacturing industries for business growth, export promotion, channelizing finance and investment, connectivity between SMEs and corporates, MNCs, financial institutions, regulatory authorities, government agencies for further business cooperation, supporting for mergers and acquisitions, improvement of quality, productivity, supporting for excellence in the manufacturing for global competitiveness, and unique services for 10x growth for better profitability and improvement of credit worthiness. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Sakshi Kulkarni, the Director of SME Chamber of India, to deliver the welcome speech. Thank you. The mic is all yours.
On behalf of SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association, I would like to welcome all of you again for this today's session, which is on cybersecurity for enterprises, protecting data, privacy, and monetary laws. Along with 63 SATs, this is our third event, and a successful third event, we can say. We have first started with Baroda, Pune, and now in Mumbai. And I hope with Neehar sir, we may go in all over India. So thank you, Neehar sir, for providing this opportunity to SMA Chamber of India to organize such a wonderful event. And now I welcome Gaurav Deshpande sir for his presentation. Sorry, 1 minute. You have to. Yes.
Today's exclusive event dedicated to 63 SATs and providing them platform to connect, communicate, and commercialize their technological initiatives, especially in the cybersecurity sphere. 63 SATs, the brainchild of visionary tech leader Mr. Jignesh Shah, built on the legacy of 63 Moons Technologies Limited, a pioneer in digitizing and democratizing Indian financial markets. 63 Moons launched key exchanges like Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited (MCX), Indian Energy Exchange Limited (IEX), Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange (DGCX), and Singapore Mercantile Exchange (SMX). These exchanges successfully thwarted millions of cyber attacks due to the robust security architecture. 63 Moons didn't just build exchanges, it fortified them with its cutting edge security framework. Mr. Shah, known for establishing 10 world class multi asset exchanges globally, with a decade shifted focus to rebuilding financial ecosystem through blockchain, AI, machine learning, and a strong emphasis on the cybersecurity. In a post-pandemic world plagued by escalating cyber threats, 63 SATs came into being as a transformative force to address the evolving cybersecurity landscape with the precision and innovation. Under the leadership of Mr. Neehar Pathare, MD, CEO, and CIO, an accomplished expert with over 2 decades of experience, 63 SATs delivers cybersecurity solutions that empowered individuals, enterprises, SMEs, government agencies, and critical infrastructures alike. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Gaurav Deshpande, the Chief Business Officer, for his keynote address, and his topic is Empowering SMEs with Next Generation Cybersecurity Solutions and Services. Everyone, please put your hands together for Mr. Gaurav Deshpande, sir. Thank you. The mic is all yours.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the SME Chamber of India, Chandrakant ji over here, and of course 63 SATs for giving me the opportunity of speaking with you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a bit about the trends that we are seeing in the cyber industry, and I'm also going to talk about what we do at 63 SATs to help organizations take their path through these trends. So this is the pedigree that we have at 63 SATs. We are a fully owned subsidiary of 63 Moons Technologies. From the video, you would have seen the kind of expertise that the group company brings onto the table. With this expertise, we bring real-world experience with us when it comes to securing critical environments like the stock exchanges that we have built, and with the intent of securing enterprises across the country and also government entities, PSUs, national critical infrastructure, and to provide the right kind of security to our citizens, we came up with this venture of getting into 63 SATs. So the real world experience is what we bring onto the table. Along with that, we bring the expertise of managing these kind of critical environments, and also what is important is the right kind of partnerships. We have put in a lot of efforts to build partnerships with leading security product organizations across the world so that we can bring the right technology, wrap it around with the right kind of services capabilities that we have built at 63 SATs, and get customized solutions and services to our customers. With the vision and the kind of mission that we have been put on by our mentor and coach, Mr. Jignesh Shah, we are not just looking at a Vikasit Bharat, but we are also trying to build a Surakshit Bharat. This is what happened in 2024. So if you go to any organization today, go to any enterprise, talk to any CIO, CISO, okay, everyone says that we have invested in the right kind of cybersecurity measures. We have got the right kind of cybersecurity technologies with us. But this is what happened in 2024. This is just the first half of 2024, and these are some of the known logos that we have put on to this particular slide. This is the second half of 2024. What is surprising is 2025 has started. We are at the end of March, and we already have the slide that is full with logos. Now the idea is not to scare anyone over here, and the idea is not just to put logos that look good or a slide that looks good with logos over here. What we are doing very consciously at 63 SATs is we are going through all of these attacks that have happened across multiple organizations. We are trying to study each and every attack. We categorize these attacks based on the attack patterns. We take the right kind of indicators of compromise from these attacks, and based on this, we are developing our own reusable asset library. To give you an example, when it comes to breach response, we have built an reusable library with reusable assets with about 88, 90 different attack patterns or breach patterns. The idea is to utilize this so that our customers who are in a similar kind of an industry segment or are utilizing similar kind of technologies in their environment can benefit. So it is how do you learn from what has happened, and how do you ensure that you are taking these learnings and improvising on what you are doing. So that is the idea behind putting this data. Now these are some of the key trends that we are seeing around cybersecurity. If you look at the global numbers, globally the cost of data breach is roughly about 40 crores. The number comes in US million dollars, about 4.88 US million dollars. But if you translate that to Indian rupees, it is about 40 crores. This was the data of 2024. So average cost of data breach in 2024 was this amount. If you look at the number in India, it is about half of that. But given the number of entities that we have, given the demographics that we have in the country, this is a humongous challenge that Indian enterprises today face. We face almost 700 attacks every minute. It is not a day number, it is not a number for a month. 700 attacks every day is what we face in the country. And that just amplifies this entire problem situation for us. There are certain key attack patterns that come out. So I've listed some of these attack patterns over here. Cloud security becomes a prime concern. Your ransomware become a prime concern. I have elaborated that further, and I have also elaborated on what we do at 63 SATs to safeguard environments against such kind of attacks. But let us see these trends. Let us try to dig a bit deeper into these trends. So if you look at these numbers, almost 46% of these breaches are also happening with organizations which have less than 1,000 employees with them. We have got a large pool of small and medium enterprises also. Of course, the large enterprises are there, but then small enterprises, medium enterprises are getting impacted by this. And what is alarming is that the average cost of data breach in this particular segment with organizations with less than about 1,000 employees is in the range of about 1 to 6 crores. That is a significant amount for any small or medium enterprise. Okay. It could be significant even for large employees, large organizations. I am not demeaning that at all, but it is a significant amount. What is also important to know is, be it large, medium, small enterprises, across all enterprise segments, if you are faced with a cyber breach, the typical statistics say that in about 6 months, the business is not able to revive and you go out of business. So these are really critical statistics that anyone should concentrate on. Now let us look at this particular slide. This is an interesting slide. What we say is today, if we have, most of us would have something like this, 8-digit or a 12-digit alphanumeric password. How many of you have this setting across your organization? 8 to 12-digit passwords with alphanumeric characters in it. I'm sure most of us, yeah, almost half of the room has raised its hand. Now what happens is, based on the computing capability that is available with us today, a 12-digit alphanumeric password can be cracked in roughly about 34,000 years. Now let us look at what is happening around us. We have Google. They have come up with their own quantum computing chip. Microsoft came up with their own quantum computing chip in a big way. It was advertised quite a lot. In addition to that, we are also looking at AI and AI-enabled attack patterns that are coming up. So quantum computing and artificial intelligence is multifold way magnifying the problem that we are having. If we look at the previous slide again and add this complication of quantum computing and artificial intelligence to this, this is where we stand. So the 34,000 years that we were thinking which are going to take to break the password are not existing anymore. With quantum computing, with the kind of processing capability, a very simple example, our passwords are already broken. We don't even need to blink an eye to get into that situation. So that is a very small example of what is the kind of complication that the scenario around us is building up in. Okay, I'm sorry for the visual aspect of this particular slide, but I'll try to explain what this slide means. If you look at cybersecurity, it's a vast domain. It is grown over the last 20 odd years, and within cybersecurity also there are multiple domains that have emerged. You have network, you have got infrastructure, you've got endpoints, you've got cloud, you've got OT, IoT for the manufacturing sector. And over the last decade and a half, there are multiple technologies also which have come to safeguard some aspects of the cybersecurity operations within these domains. What has happened is there have been adoptions of these technologies, and these technologies have also matured, and organizations have also matured on their cybersecurity controls using these kind of technologies. So what I've done is, in this particular picture, on the outer circle, there are technologies listed which are, according to us, as on today, the most basic level of maturity that any organization should have in the respective domains. And as we grow closer to the center of this particular circle, we are listing down the more mature technologies which have come up. Okay. The way we use this particular circle or wheel of cyber is we do assessments on the maturity of our organization based on various parameters, based on various domains, and we also help enhance the maturity of the organization. There could also be a very mature thought that I am probably at level 3 of maturity on a scale of 1 to 5, but given the kind of operations that I'm into, I'm not into mission critical operations, so level 3 is what I would want to maintain. What happens is, this is a point in time wheel that you're seeing. Tomorrow this wheel will change. The technologies which are in the center of the circle will grow outside and become the most common technologies that you will need to have the basic maturity. So what we do is, we also help organizations on sustenance. Now, while there are multiple technologies, each technology would have at least 5 to 7 OEMs that offer these technologies in productized formats. What we do is, as a service provider, we try to understand what is it that is required by a customer. What are the operational requirements? What are the business requirements for cybersecurity? What are the critical assets in your environment? How do we safeguard these critical assets? There could be regulatory compliance requirements. How do we safeguard you and ensure that you are meeting your regulatory compliance requirements? That is how we look at it. To give you an example, we were having a conversation with a cooperative bank a few weeks back, and we were having conversation on security operations. And one question that was asked to us is, how many use cases do you provide? I have got vendors who are providing 5,000 use cases, 1,000 use cases, 2,000 use cases. So the way we had that conversation with the customer is, it is not important how many use cases does the service provider or the technology have with them. I might have 10,000 use cases, but if I do not have the 10 use cases that you require in your environment, I am not able to satisfy your requirement. So it is important to understand what a customer needs and bring that aspect of the technology. It would require some customization that is needed to be done on the technology, and that is exactly where our customized solutions and customized services come into play. The first slides that I showed about the data breaches and the attack patterns, that also becomes a crucial point of building these kind of reusable assets when it comes to understanding customer environments and providing them what they want. So based on our conversations with customers, based on the analysis that we are doing at 63 SATs, we have identified some of the focused technologies that the environment today needs and needs to be protected with. And this is what we see. Continuous threat and exposure management is a very strong concept that organizations need to have. This is also called out by Gartner in their hype cycle. We are working very strongly in this particular area. Deepfake recognition, AI poisoning, I spoke about that some time back on AI poisoning, but deepfake recognition also is becoming extremely important. Law enforcement agencies need something like this, and organizations who are into physical security, or there are use cases where you need to identify if something is a fake video or no, it becomes extremely important. And so are the other technologies. One very important thing that we have noticed coming up is the concept of breach response and digital forensics. If there is a breach that happens in my environment tonight, we are on a Friday evening, if once you go back to your homes and once we are trying to rest, if 2 o'clock in the night, there is a call from the operations team saying that there's a breach that has happened, what do we do at that point of time? Whom do we call up? Do you write an email? Do you drop a SMS? Do you go back to office? What do you do at that point of time? If you are regulated by SEBI, if you are regulated by Reserve Bank of India, they do call out the requirement of having a crisis management plan, and there are some basic guidelines which are provided. But if you are not a regulated entity, if you are not regulated by these regulators, what do you do in that case? Do you go back to CERTAN? Do you go back to NCSC and identify what is the national plan for cyber crisis management and work around that? That is where organizations like us come into play. We help our customers in that hour to identify what the breach is, to contain the spread of the breach, to cleanse the environment, to bring it back into production, and if needed, do digital forensics so that the right kind of evidences can be retrieved to be given to law enforcement agencies. So this is a snapshot of what, according to us, are the key technologies that are in focus today, and we can talk about a lot more about this in the breakouts. Okay. This is what we do at 63 SATs. We have got a 47-seater Threat Intelligence Monitoring and Response Command Center, which is just about 750 meters away from here at our head office, headquarters in Andheri. Okay. I'll talk a bit more about what we do from this particular center, but this is a very important part of our cybersecurity strategy and one of the crown jewels that we have in our environment. We've got 100 plus resources with the right kind of certifications, and this is the key USP that we have, and that is the core of the strength that we have with the kind of resources that we have. These are hand-picked resources by the leadership team to ensure that we are able to deliver the right things to the customers, and at any given point of time, there is absolute focus on the delivery and the quality of delivery that we are able to offer to our customers. We provide customized solutions, we provide customized services. On the solutions front, I'll talk about it in a couple of slides, but we concentrate on concepts like cyber threat intelligence, cloud security posture management, third-party risk management. We have got a very strong solution which is called as anti-ransomware assurance. Okay. It works on the concept of automated moving target defense, a very strong solution that should be utilized by every organization. Of course, on the services side, we have the capabilities of doing the regular VAPTs, and we have got a very strong red teaming skill set with us. We have a 100% success rate when it comes to red teaming. We also do digital forensics, breach response, as I mentioned in the previous slide, and we are very strong on threat hunting. It's a very important tool in proactively identifying what is happening in your environment, and that is where we are putting a lot of effort in. We have got a forensics laboratory through which we offer threat hunting, digital forensics, and breach response as a service. Of course, on the GRC side, we have got the capability of helping our customers with regulatory compliance requirements. It could be the ISOs of the world, it could be HIPAA, PCI DSS, it could be SOC 2 Type 2 readiness. Also for the manufacturing sector, it could be IEC 64332, which is a standard for OT security. So this is the readiness that we have at 63 SATs, and this is the capability that we have built. Talking a bit about TMARC, it stands for Threat Intelligence Monitoring and Response Command Center. Okay. This concept is bringing together three areas that are extremely important for any organization. You need to have a very strong control on detecting threats and responding to threats in as minimum time as needed. The average time to detect threats in the enterprise industry today is roughly to the tune of about 120 days. You need to reduce this. It should be seconds, if not minutes. 120 days is a long time. So the focus should be how do you detect threats in a timely manner, and how do you reduce the time to detect, and how do you reduce the time to respond. So the technologies that I spoke about in the previous slide, the customized solutions, help us do all of this. Also our capabilities of threat hunting, red teaming, VAPT, gap assessment, that help in identifying the threats and controlling the time to detect and to respond to threats. The other area which is important is crisis management that I just spoke about. And to do all of these things, you need to have the right kind of command center capabilities. This is a facility from where you can have people manning your environments, okay, looking at various technologies and the alerts that are generated by various technologies on a 24/7 basis, and then reacting to those alerts so that the right actions are taken upon. Okay, we call it MDR, we call it Security Operations Center. We can term it the way we want, but the basic function is to get inputs from all the technologies, correlate these inputs, and to respond to the alerts that are showcased. All of these three things are important, and there are organizations who concentrate on either of these three buckets or subparts of these three buckets. What we have done is we have put all of these things together under one umbrella, which we are calling as the Threat Intelligence Monitoring and Response Command Center. This is how the framework looks like. It has capabilities of being a traditional security operations center. It can offer MDR services. It can be used as an AI ML SOC, because the technologies that we are working on are having the AI ML capabilities built in it. And of course, there is the complete services shield that we bring on top of that, with our own capabilities of 24/7 operations, implementation capabilities, integration capabilities, and the services around VAPT, red teaming, gap assessment, all of this. This can be consumed by anyone in a modular fashion, or can be looked at as a framework that you would want to include as a roadmap for the organization also. What we have done is, on top of this particular framework and the technologies that we have invested in, we are in the process of building a unified dashboard. The one problem statement that we have realized is, if I have 10, 15 technologies in my environment, each of these technologies is having its own dashboard. There are alerts that are given by each of these technologies. It's an operational headache for the operations team to look at these individual dashboards and to then correlate and create inference out of it. At the same point of time, for the IT leadership of the organization also, it becomes a challenge. At no point of time I can get a clear picture of what is the risk level that I have in my organization. To solve this particular problem, we have come up with this unified dashboard. We are still working on this and we should launch it pretty soon. But the idea is to provide dashboards that can be used by the board to get a view of what is happening in the cybersecurity space. It can be used by the IT leadership, security leadership, CISO, CIOs can use this. At the same point of time, the technical teams can also draw inference from this, because you are getting everything consolidated in one single dashboard. And this, of course, will be a clickable thing. You click on the details and this opens up the details of what you want to view over here. So this is the dashboarding capability that we are building on. What I would want to do is, I know that we are all about 700, 750 meters away from the TMARC center, but I would want to virtually take you to the TMARC center. Let's have a brief video that showcases the capabilities. So from this TMARC center, we are able to provide managed services and provide remote operations capabilities to our customers. We offer our portfolio to customers in three ways. We have an enterprise thought process, which is called as the cybersecurity force. It is not limited to large or small enterprises. We do not further categorize it. For us, a customer is a customer. Okay. Data and cybersecurity is as important for a small and medium business as well as it is to a large enterprise. So we do not distinguish between the verticals, but the cybersecurity force thought process is an enterprise solution offering that we have. Then we have an offering which is called a Cyber Dome, which is offered to PSUs, to government entities, and to national critical infrastructure. There are some hardened systems that get provided, and there are encryption levels that could probably be available only to governments and national critical infrastructures. So we are working with the right technology partners in this particular space, and we are coming up with an app that will be available for every citizen of this country. It is called CYBX. I will talk about that app and what the capabilities of that app could be in a bit from here. But this, in a nutshell, is the portfolio that we have around providing customized cyber solutions. I spoke about some of these solutions in the previous slide also. Now, if we look at, I would want to showcase one more video that has a very good solution. We work with a partner that works in this space of deepfake recognition. We realize that there is a significant requirement for a solution that helps in doing the voice to video and video to voice mapping. At the same point of time, it helps us identify if either the voice is synthetic or the video that is being played is a AI image that gets superimposed on the video, on the original video. Okay, so this is a very strong tool. This is just a small use case. It is called as face swapping that we'll showcase over here. The idea over here is if you have the voice samples and there is a face attached to that particular voice sample, you can identify if the same voice is used in the video. It shows a green signal. The moment there is a face swap, which means that someone's AI image gets imposed on that particular face, it gives you a green alert, a red alert. Okay, this is a very useful case for law enforcement agencies and agencies that work in the physical security domain. I'll just show a quick demonstration of how this thing works.
Yes, so swap face technology, it's a new version of deepfake. Basically, fraudsters use swap face technology to inject a different face into meetings. It could be a familiar face from within an organization, but the whole idea is to pretend to be someone else in a meeting. It could be for Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, etc. And the whole idea is that fraudsters use different faces to pretend to be someone else. It could be also applied in a recruitment, a new employee for the organization who try to steal information, sensitive information about the company. Our technology, the voice-to-face matching technology, can match between a voice and a face and tell in real time whether it's a real person or whether it's like a fraud.
So this is how this entire concept of swap face works. Okay, this is one of the use cases, as I said, amongst the many that can be delivered through this solution. We have got a very elaborate portfolio that concentrates on technology services. As I told you, VAPT, red teaming, breach response, and IRR is the forte that we have, and that is the deep capability that we bring onto the table. Okay. A bit about Cyberdome. This is the solution that we have that can be taken to governments, that can be taken to PSUs and to national critical infrastructures. We work across various layers, be it the network layer, the application layer, the endpoints, and all aspects get covered. This could also be a potential thought process that large enterprises might want to have when they are building security operation centers of their own. Okay. Then we have the CYBX thought process, which is an app that we will be launching pretty soon, probably a month and a half to 2 months away from launching this. This app gives all the right controls, be it spam detection, be it caller identification, be it identifying if there's a phishing link, and so on and so forth. But that is not the only capability that this app brings onto the table. It is a threat detection solution for cell phones. On a daily basis, it does a sanitization check of the device. It identifies what kind of threats are present on the device, and it lets us know if the device is clean or is compromised or is having some challenges. It helps us understand if there are threats on the network layer, be it rogue Wi-Fi connectivity, be it rogue Bluetooth connectivity, be it a man-in-the-middle attack, if your VPN is rightly secured, and so on and so forth. And this is something that is available on the cell phone of every individual. And I think that is the need of the hour. There is a lot of requirement. There is increased awareness that people have around cell phone protection, but this adds that layer of threat detection. We are also working on bundling cyber insurance along with this particular thought process. That is a unique proposition that we have, and we can talk about that in detail in the breakout for sure. But this is something that we will be launching in about a month and a half to 2 months. Should be available on App Store and Google Play Store, and some versions of it will be paid versions, of course. Okay. that is it that I had. Thank you for being a pleasant audience. Thank you for giving me a nice and quiet hearing. If there are any questions, I would be more than happy to take it up over here, or I'm going to be around for the next few hours, and I'll be more than happy to interact with you guys. And the entire 63 SATs team is also here. Thank you so much. Sorry? Yeah, so very good question, Chandrakant sir. What we have done is taking into consideration the use cases that small and medium industries would have. We have come up with some bundles. Okay, so if you look at a concept wherein you are being able to protect endpoints with a solution like EDR, which is going to work on detecting and responding to threats for endpoints, as well as having the anti-ransomware assurance that I spoke about. Okay. We have a very attractive price point in the range of about 6,500 rupees per endpoint per year. Okay. Of course, we can work it out based on the kind of volumes, but it's a very attractive price point, and it gives a very good and strong protection against probably the most known attack patterns that could impact small industries.
And suppose tomorrow my phone or my computer going to be hacked. So are you going to give a support to connect with the same particular say agency or some correspondence, or how to manage that issues or problems?
So two things to this, sir. If it is CYBX, okay, and on a cell phone, then there is insurance that will be built in. Okay, but for the non-cell phone devices, for the overall organization, what we do is with the concept of crisis management, we've got a service which is called as Incident Response Retainer Service, in which the idea is we can block a certain number of hours on a periodic basis, and we can provide the right kind of guidance in a crisis situation. We can help you understand what has happened, we can help you cleanse the environment, we can help you bring the environment back into production, and also provide the right kind of inputs to you so that you can interact with the law enforcement agencies. Of course, there is 1930 by the Government of India, and we can help coordinate over there. Thank you.
You are about to launch the app, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it compatible with iPhone and all kind of Android?
Yes, absolutely. So it will be available on Apple's App Store, it will be available on Google's Play Store. Okay, we are currently in the beta phase of testing the app on both the Play Stores. Okay, so once it is available on it, you can just download it. So there is no role that 63 SATs will have in deploying the app on your phone. As a normal, regular citizen, you can download the app from the App Store, you install it on your phone, and you are getting the protection.
For the phone, there are devices available,
yes,
which provides the security.
Yes.
So how you compare in terms of commercials and uses of that?
We are extremely competitive when it comes to the commercials of this particular app. And if we look at the insurance component, which is the clear differentiation that we bring onto the table, the way we have worked with the insurance service provider over here, we are in a position to offer probably the best insurance premiums as well as some insured from the service providers for every citizen on the cell phone. Okay, so the price competitiveness is extremely strong. On the technology competence, on the kind of features that get provided, over there also the features that we provide are extremely matured. For example, if you want to do a CYBX to CYBX call, we can encrypt the entire conversation. Okay, to provide the right kind of security. It can safeguard against some of the most sophisticated attacks that can happen. At the same point of time, one feature I would want to mention is, say for example, you and me are on CYBX, okay, and I give you a call and I put you on speakerphone, and you are not comfortable with that. You can get a notification that you have been put on speakerphone. So that alerting also happens. So there is, it's an extremely feature-rich solution, and it is at extremely affordable price points. No, there is no voice recording.
No, as you said for the speakerphone.
Yeah. So see, the idea is it is also taking into consideration privacy. If I do not want, if you put me on speakerphone, there is a possibility that there are people around you or around me who are listening to the conversation, and I can very politely tell you that could you please not, or you can tell me that could you please not put me on speakerphone, I'm not comfortable with this. At the same point of time, if you connect the phone onto a car audio system, it will give that alert also. The idea is to ensure that the privacy of the conversation is also maintained. And if either parties have a objection to being put on a speakerphone or a speaking device, you can raise that up. Yes, sir.
Suppose one person has a CYBT and another person doesn't have. Still it is end-to-end encryption or what?
No, the encryption will have to be CYBX to CYBX.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can the individual also buy this app or
Yes, yes.
corporate for?
No, it is an individual app that will be available on App Store and Google Play Store.
And suppose in my company phone, MDM is
Yeah.
installed. So can someone still download the app and do all this stuff?
Yeah, so see, MDM typically is a containerization of the office data on your phone. Okay, so regardless of having an MDM policy on your cell phone, if it is an individually owned phone, you can still download whatever apps you want. Okay, but we also have got a very strong solution for the B2B segment, which is a corporate MTD solution, mobile threat detection solution. This is for the B2C segment, which is to end consumers, and there's of course a solution available for B2B also. All right, I think I will let the other speakers come onto the stage. Okay, we'll be around. Thank you so much, and looking forward to interesting conversations. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Gaurav Deshpande, for sharing such helpful insights on the challenges that the SMEs face and how we can counter them through cybersecurity solutions led by 63 SATs. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to invite on the dais Mr. Chandrakant Salunkhe to deliver his address as well as to highlight the activities and initiatives of SME Chamber of India and Maharashtra Industry Development Association for the benefit of manufacturing industries and SME sectors. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू. गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स. आपके सबके मोबाइल नंबर हमारे पास है और हमने एक काम किया है, आपके सबके मोबाइल में एक बग छोड़ा है और आपका लॉक कर दिया है फ़ोन. चेक करो, नॉट जोकिंग, चेक कीजिए आपका लॉक खुलता है कि नहीं. देखो यार, आपका भी है. देखो देखो, सब लोग डर जाते कि नहीं. सो गौरव हैज़ अरेस्टेड यू डिजिटली और फिजिकली. तो आज की डेट में अगर देखा जाए तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है और उसके इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है गौरव ने बताया. बट आई ऑब्जर्व दैट मेनी कंपनीज, मेनी एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, मेनी इंटरप्राइजेस, इंडिविजुअल्स आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम. कितने लोगों का डिजिटल अरेस्ट में कितना पैसा गया, आप पढ़ते हो कि नहीं? रोज का पढ़ते. देखो, और करोड़ में जा रहा है. आई एम सरप्राइज, एक बंदे ने 17 करोड़ रुपया दिया है डिजिटल अरेस्ट में. 17 करोड़ रुपीस दिया हुआ है. एंड लास्ट वीक आई हर्ड फ्रॉम वन पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर फ्रॉम द सम मुंबई पुलिस स्टेशन, सीनियर सिटीजन, सुपर सीनियर सिटीजन, 1,78 लाख रुपीज उसने 24 घंटे में दिया. एंड 63 सैट जैसी एक एजेंसी ने उनको पुलिस के माध्यम से, देवर डिटेक्टिव एजेंसी, उन्होंने वो पैसा 3 दिन में रिटर्न ले लिया. सो यू नीड अ एजेंसी फॉर पर्टिकुलरली टू गिव गाइडेंस. एंड आई ऑब्जर्व दैट आज की डेट में हमारे अकाउंटेंट होता है, हमारे यहाँ पर HR कंसल्टेंट होता है, हमारे यहाँ मार्केटिंग कंसल्टेंट होता है, हमारे यहाँ फिर बैंकर कंसल्टेंट होता है, CA होता है, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी होता है. सिमिलरली नाउ इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड हैव अ वन साइबर सिक्योरिटी कंसल्टेंट. ऐसा नहीं कि ये कंपनी मेरे फ्रेंड की है करके, बट रियली it is a need of power. Recently, we have felicited this 63 SATs by presenting India SME Excellence Awards. Let's give a big hand for an emerging company, because they have come up with such idea, such services and dedicated services to industry, particularly to save your money, save your data, save your monetary loss, and save your all the information which you are using for a business purpose. I observed that many companies in India facing a problem. So many different level. कोई banking finance नहीं मिलता है किसी को, manufacturing excellence नहीं है, productivity नहीं हो रही है, export promotion में difficulty आ रही है. So similarly, there are a lot of issues are happening in India, particularly with the SME sector or manufacturing industry. So friends, let us take advantage. I will not take much time, but whatever the Gaurav has given the inputs and the information and even presentation, that is the most important in today's day. Unless until you will not protect your data, जैसे आज आप आपके बैंक अकाउंट को जैसे पासवर्ड डालते हो या आपके मोबाइल फ़ोन को डालते हो, वैसा आपको आपके पासवर्ड साइबर सिक्योरिटी के लिए रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. That password will be come from the 63 sats. So friends, let us take advantage of this interaction and interactive session. But nevertheless, SME Chamber of India is there to support you. Those are from manufacturing industry. They can take our services for the expansion of their exports, connectivity to the large corporate, for supply chain, for procurement, for particular channelizing finance, investment. And those are into manufacturing. They have a state-of-art manufacturing. They can approach us for a joint venture, contract manufacturing. And now we have started Global Capability Center for mid-corporates. We are connecting the international organizations, companies, for particularly not only IT-related business, but manufacturing also, particularly in the engineering, automotive, food processing, packaging, pharmaceutical, medical equipments manufacturing. So your company can approach if you have a state-of-art manufacturing unit and where you want to have a tie-up with any international company or particular support. So with this word, I am thankful to Neehar ji for taking lead for creating awareness program, particularly for the benefit of the industry, SME sector, and all of you. Today is very interesting day. I think we are end of the financial year. इतने होने के बावजूद भी आप आज यहाँ पर आए हो. नेटवर्किंग अच्छा होना चाहिए, कनेक्टिविटी बननी चाहिए, और मोस्टली हाउ यू वांट टू यूटिलाइज दिस सर्विसेज, दैट आल्सो यू कैन डिस्कस विद द 63 टीम. ओके, thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Chandrakant Salunkhe, sir, for welcoming us and once again giving us highlights about this event. All right, so now the time comes for the most powerful fireside chat, and I think we all have been waiting for this. I would like to invite on the stage the respected moderator, Mr. Ashwani Mishra, tech editor of 63 Sats. Everyone, please put your hands together for Mr. Ashwani Mishra. And I would now like to invite a very dynamic personality, our guest speaker, Mr. Neehar Pathare, MD, CEO and CIO of 63 Sats. The topic for today is cybersecurity threats, challenges and initiatives of 63 Sats. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much for the introduction. Great session by Gaurav and Salunkhe sir. Thank you for those very encouraging words that you had for everyone. I'll quickly set the context. Most of the things has been shared by Gaurav. So, good to see people here from different industries. That will help me set create the situation and for this conversation as well. So, I have been interacting with IT leaders and business leaders across domains, and I've found that there are 5 key areas that they are dealing with. The first is how they rewire and reshape themselves, how they can take advantage of a digital, cloud-based, mobile-centric world and bring advanced technologies into the business, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things. The second is how they can leverage massive amounts of data and bring advanced analytics, not just in an algorithmic sense, but in a more business sense, so that people have the capacity to use it. The third is how they can tap the digital resources out there to innovate for their customers, create new products, new services, and at times new business models to drive growth. The fourth, which has been are gaining a lot of traction over the past couple of years is around sustainability. Now, businesses want to be sustainable. They want to meet the net zero goals that has been set out for different countries across the world. And the fifth, which encompasses all the four areas that I've mentioned about, is cybersecurity. Now, enterprises want the data to be secure, they want their businesses to be secure, they want to comply with the regulations of the land, and that's what we have all gathered here to talk about. Neehar, you have been in this industry for close to 2 decades now, and you've seen it all. Yes. Before we open and go deep into the conversation, what are some of the cyber threats that enterprises should really be cautious about?
The largest problem in industry currently facing enterprises and SMEs is ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks, these are predominantly, this had been foreign attacks asking you for lakhs of rupees via Bitcoin. Check.
Audible, right?
Audible here. Bitcoin is the mode of payment that they do, ask for, and this usually starts with 5 CR to 7 CR and end up closing, negotiating around 50 lakhs to a crore. What we have seen in the last 1 year is people calling us first time and asking us, how do we pay via Bitcoin?
Right.
Yeah. And I said, what happened? Why do you want to pay? And he said, no, I want to pay because the ransom asked is $1,000. And that is when we understand that there are no foreign players. These are Indian players, Indian kids, Indian boys.
Just testing waters for now.
Yes, and now it's so easy. They start downloading the tools and it's a manual that you can do. And with that, it's very, very easy that you could hack into or lock a company's computers. And 1 lakh or 2 lakh is quite a big amount for these kids or these hackers, and they're quite satisfied. So you can now see it's not a big ransom problem, but very small amounts which are quite big for those hackers.
Very interesting. So we are seeing some traction within the Indian space as well. There is a lot of talk about layered security. And if you could tell us more about it and what does it mean?
Oh, this is a very favorite topic, and I always use illustration on this. Layered security is something like an onion. Yeah, how do you peel an onion? So you start going layer by layer, and the first layer and the most important and the most neglected layer is employee awareness and training. Employee awareness and training still has to be number one priority for any company. Let it be safety for those manufacturing companies or cybersecurity awareness, not to click phishing links. And this has to be rolled out day after day, year after year, rigorously bombarding people with the same concept with some unique new features. I've given an example about one of the safest industries is the airline industry.
Right.
Yeah. Still, with all the safety features, as soon as the flight you are boarded, you sit down on that, every flight still does the safety check. They still tell you how to put the seat belt, they still tell you this is the mask which are going to do that. And sometimes you ignore, you're reading cell phones, but it has to go at the back of the mind. So in case there is an emergency, when panic strikes in, you are able to by default act and not think about it, because in panic people do not think. The next one that we have is a robust data backup. This is the crux. If you want to ward off any cyber attack, if you do not have a data backup, you will have companies or system integrators coming to you saying you have a ransomware attack, engage us and we will retrieve it. And you say, I do not have backup, then it is gone. No one can retrieve you from a ransomware attack without a data backup.
True.
And now the architecture is such, the ransom malwares are such that they also infect your backup. So they are also getting smarter.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very important that you isolate, have cold, hot backups that you have, and there are a lot of policies. Most of the IT team members here would be following that, but the importance is very important that once you can write backup to worm devices. So you write once and read many times. So it is sealed. This is of course expensive, depends on the industry, how you do it, but backup still says the number 2. peel of the
Absolutely.
onion. Endpoint protection is the most important because now your endpoints are your cell phones, your laptops. We as IT infrastructure heads, security heads, we usually completely secure the servers with firewalls, and the entire infrastructure in a data center is completely secured. But where the breach comes in is from your endpoint. So these devices have to be secured. You need a solid solution which will ward off phishing links, automatically detect SMSs which has phishing links, and then blocks this. The next peel is the network security enhancements. Here in the enhancement, the technology is evolving. Every day, every week, we have something new. That does not mean that you have to follow and keep changing your devices. Please ensure that the OS, the patches are upgraded. As soon as it is done, do not wait. I have seen many of the banks do N-1. Yeah, they wait for the next patch to stabilize so that they understand the first patch is stabilized and they go for it. That 1 month or 2 months that you have a gap is where the vulnerability that the manufacturing OEM has sought after has to be removed. So you need a proper patch management system out on this. This is the most interesting, and this is where we like it because we do a lot of red teaming. And for those of you who do not understand red teaming is an exercise that we become actually online and offline hackers. We look at your system as an online system that we can breach like a hacker. We also get offline. We have people who get an employee or a contract card into your company. It might be a housekeeping. It could be a visitor coming in. We get in, we scan everything. Of course, we get a consent letter from the CEO in case the security catches us in the night scooping around. It's a drill. So it's an exercise. A contract is given, and then we find hidden passwords. We say files, documents lying there, and this exercise is an alarming exercise. Actually, the management has to be ready for this because this actually truly gives you a complete, sure security exposure that you have. And access control and privileges is the favorite way that you can enter a company. Then you have incident response planning. So what happens when there is an incident? We have seen leading IT teams also do not know what does a cyber attack looks like. You ask your network guys once you are back, you check them, can they distinguish between a broadcast storm or denial of service attack? These two are very similar. A broadcast storm on your network could be a loopback on your network switch doing a complete spanning tree protocol broadcast, and this looks like a denial of service. They run helter-skelter, then you start switching off devices. If you have an incident response plan, you understand what an attack is, and then you have to have a manual. Again, I come back to the airline. Although the pilots are trained day in and out, they still have a flight manual that they refer so that they cannot go wrong. So this is the plan that is most important for all the companies. And then the threat intelligence and monitoring. Here we have a service, and there are many people who have this service. Threat intelligence is, as you all know, you have the web, and then you have a dark web and the deep web. Most of the leak credentials are then floated around. And what we have seen, we monitor this. I will tell you in the coming slide how we do that. Any domain of yours, once it registers with the threat intelligence service, it is monitored 24/7. We have seen before an institute, enterprise is attacked, 24 hours before that, there is chatter in the dark web. And this chatter is then picked up by us, and we inform most of the customers that there is going to be an attack. What does this chatter mean? So it's very interesting. They find a vulnerability on your network switches. They know how to penetrate. Before they start the attack, they see how important your company is. They start selling, or bidding process starts on the dark web, saying if I get access to this company, how much will someone pay me? Then they understand if this data is available. So this chatter is then picked up. We understand the importance of this chatter, and then we monitor and help our customers.
Absolutely. Any more points
No,
there?
no, I think we have reached there.
Right, so quite interesting, Neehar, so these are some of the key tenets that enterprises should be looking when they're looking at overall security. Coming to 63 SATs, you've been a new age cybersecurity company, you have looking at collaborations across.
Yes.
How are you, and specifically if I wanted to mention, why a key focus on Israel, and what makes you have them as a key collaborator for the Indian market?
So if you see, predominantly 63 Moons technology has been an IP creator. Yeah, we are the ones who created Odin, we created MCX, all are were IP. When we started post-COVID, when we saw most of these attacks happening,
Right.
we said, why not make a business case out of this? And at the same time, help our fellow Indian customers or companies safeguard with the same level of knowledge that we have. When we enter this market, if we wanted to create an IP, generate an IP, we would have done that and become a single product company. But you actually need a lot of solutions across and services to put them together. And what else? In the shortest time possible, the one country that we look upon is Israel. And Israel being the smartest in cybersecurity, we went there, had forged partnerships. We had the ex-general Igal Una, who was reporting to the Prime Minister Netanyahu. He retired 2 years back, and he has joined us as the chairman of our advisory board. So we get the best technologies at India level prices because we have volumes here.
Right.
And that's the connect with Israel. And I would like to show you, we had a couple of months back, this is the Minister of Trade and Economics who had come down to our office from Israel. And he was pretty impressed on the 63 Moons and the cyber security because we provide the IP corridor for Israeli companies to enter India on a complete secured and a standard platform, which gives the right amount of confidence
True.
and guarantee to our customers.
Right, makes sense perfectly. Right, before I move on with the questions, anything that you would want to ask Neehar specifically? We can just take a couple of questions before we move ahead with this conversation.
This concept I like, your own cyber security course.
Thank you. Right, so we'll wait till the conversation comes to an end. Neehar, moving from Israel, if you can go to the global thing that is happening, there's a lot of hue and cry about the war chat being leaked by the Trump administration, and inadvertently by the National Security Advisor, and heading straight off to the Atlantic editor-in-chief, and while the White House is trying to project that no classified information was shared, but the messaging app that we are talking about is Signal.
Yes.
We'll not go to the fallout of the whole issue from an enterprise perspective, and how secure is Signal, and should we be looking at such apps?
Let me tell you, for those who do not know what has happened, the editor of Atlantic was added to one of the security groups of the White House, and before the Yemen attack, just a day before,
Right.
Rest of the world came to know about the attack after 2 hours, but this group came to know the entire plan's location 1 hour before. And this is because this editor was added to a security group without him knowing, and he could see all entire plans and how the attack was going to be.
And that posed a risk to the pilots who are going to fly to Yemen to attack the Houthi terrorists. Yeah.
So what we did is we have studied Signal. It is one of the apps on which Telegram is also based. And you know, Signal has been a very consistent open source app. You can download and make your own architecture, build your own architecture over it. And we would also say that this should not be used, absolutely.
Right.
And some of the reasons we find key with Signal are there's no government certifications, you do not standardize it with what level of security you have. And the chat groups are very risky. You can add, anyone can add anyone into the group. There is no admin there. So there is no admin, so that's the reason this editor was added. And it has no enterprise administration. There is no policy control, it's just a standalone app. You start adding, because it adds by number, like Telegram
Right.
and this, you can actually have the entire database of signal where you can pull in
Pull
if you
in.
have the right
Oh, okay.
number. So this could be anyone in the world. The next point is the metadata exposure. There is no government level control. So basic hygiene that any enterprise would require is not out
There.
here. And these are personal devices and desktops. So many of the federal teams, they require approval for your devices and that. But when they start using this app, attackers can easily target them, absolutely easily.
How can you secure this?
So we have a solution. We have been a partner with BlackBerry for the last, one of the first early BlackBerry adopters around 18 years back.
Right.
And once the BlackBerry devices went out, people thought the BlackBerry company has died.
Right.
It is not so. BlackBerry is very strong in security services now. And what we provide is BlackBerry Secure Suite. A small comparison for everyone present is the certifications, how it is controlled, a management console for everyone. It only approved devices. A device has to be approved before you onboard that. And how you would ask next is, how do you compare it with WhatsApp, right?
Absolutely. So WhatsApp is more prevalent in India.
So I would say that WhatsApp, everyone of you all must have seen, there is an encryption key with every message that you talk to a person. And if you enable that, there's a stick to see how the key works.
Right.
In a group, when a person changes the phone or deletes or installs WhatsApp again, you will see a notification that the number has changed or a notification that handset has changed.
Right.
That's when the encryption key changes. So WhatsApp is only one time encryption of yours. You communicate to other person on those two keys.
Right.
And these keys will be for life till one of you format or uninstall it. In BlackBerry Secure Suite, when the conversation is on, the encryption key on the fly during the conversation changes every 30 seconds.
Oh.
So it becomes military grade and no one in the world is able to intercept this.
Very interesting. Right. Any questions now? Yes, please. Can we have the mic here?
What is the typical costing for the couple of server, one of the mail server, and say about less than 50 users?
How many? 50?
Yeah.
50.
50. Because we are in the SME, so maybe 20 users to 50 years.
Why would you, sir, why would you require a mail server? Mail service is gone, you could take any of the cloud service providers and you just have to pay for that 20 people.
Good question, but it is still
if you want, it depends.
Still
if you
there
want,
are threats are there.
if you want an exchange, Microsoft Exchange is there. You have Zoho Mail, that again is on the cloud. But if you want physical mail server, there are 2 or 3 companies which provide still. Microsoft Exchange, I do not know if they have it now on-prem. I started my career in 2000 as an exchange administrator, and a product which I still love on-prem, then on the cloud. But for 20 users, the setup for the server would be 10x than the user cost. So if you really have that much of security, we could discuss this. What?
Endpoint users.
Endpoint users? So as for the mail?
See, typical problem is that many security solution offer the license not less than the 50. It is a fact. They are not selling less than 50.
Less than 50 users.
They are not selling also. This is the fact actually.
For mail, I am not sure, but for cybersecurity, we sell less than 5 also. If you want to secure, we have solutions for SMEs less than 5 also. And our solutions, where Gaurav told about a package of around 6,000 rupees per user, we secure with the XDR, that is the extended detection and response. Each license of XDR installed on any of your endpoints is monitored from a central SOC if you want it. It's a managed, monitoring is included in the license cost. In case there is a vulnerability or a pen drive with malware connected, immediately on our SOC a bleep goes that so and so company, this is the IP, alert has come in and we call you saying this is the computer which has done. And you,
Quite attractive solutions because always we people always treat that nafe mein khata hota hai karke in the SME segment. So actually you should go for come out with for the SME segment.
definitely, definitely.
Right, points well taken, sir. Anyone with a question here? Yes, please.
Yeah, my question is, these problems having with the heart, they use pacers.
Okay.
Pacer system. Is it, it can be hacked or not?
I think it's
Sorry, we couldn't hear you properly. Sorry.
Those who are having heart problems,
Okay.
they use pacers,
Okay. Okay.
pacemakers, you can say. So that is a device. Is it
Can
hackable
they be
or?
hacked? IoT
Because
threats.
I have heard that some people, they were.
Yes, if I'll tell you the new age pacemakers, which can be controlled by an app. Any connectivity with a pacemaker can be disrupted. Any connectivity.
So then what will be the solution for that?
We will have more and more secured firewalls. Yeah. It depends on how do you want convenience. Convenience and security is always a seesaw. Yeah. People go for convenience and that's the time when the security drops. If you have something which is once installed and not able to communicate for the number of years, then you are most secured. But again, I would say if you see technically, if you have a large EMF which is bombarded on you, which will actually stops all electronics around, that can still be a attack vector.
Pacemaker can be allowed to spouse to access them.
Through an app, yes.
Can be accessed by the spouse.
Depends. So his question was if pacemaker can be allowed to be accessed by the spouse.
Understand the heartbeats and other things.
Right. One final question, Neehar, before we wind up this conversation. You have? Oh, yes, please. Sorry.
You mentioned you can secure SME or large enterprise. So but how about catching the thief itself? So you are not concentrating on catching the thief. Those who are spreading rent. So whole business model is कि मैं आपकी society में चोर को पकड़ना चाहिए ना.
You cannot catch them, sir.
नहीं.
But I'll let
I'll
Neehar answer that.
So you can't control that.
No, you cannot catch them. You don't know who they are. Yes,
So
Neehar.
I'll tell you. The Indian law enforcement agencies are doing a great job on catching people with the right tools and help, which are under their jurisdiction of the country. Yeah, most of these attacks happen from foreign nations. They are absolutely not possible to do that. I have an interesting video. I do not know if I have carried. Maybe during dinner I'll play it. I was called for a digital arrest. Yeah, and I played through the entire 40 minutes of it. And we made a good information video on that. And we finally, slowly we went and then we said, we did a video call, the police came in, we discussed, and then we started asking documents, gave him a false Aadhaar card. And as we progressed, finally it came to a place where they finally checked my WhatsApp description, my photograph. And then they started laughing that I am from cybercrime. And they said, if you are from cybercrime, can you help us? I said, definitely. And it was a funny
No,
conversation.
it was a genuine message.
Genuine. I have
ask
the
for it.
video. And the message was, I said to the inspector who came online, I said, भाई थोड़ा shave और थोड़ा cutting करके तो वो inspector लग नहीं रहा था. So he said, sir, इधर से तो it's very मुश्किल है, लेकिन can you help us? And then the conversation changed. These guys were Indian guys from UP, given an agent 2 lakh rupees for a job in Amazon, Myanmar, Cambodia. And they said, we are under lock in this building called as Mango Park. You can Google. There are around 1,000 people under arrest there of different entities. Most of them are Japanese, Chinese, because and Australian. And these people job is to call their native countries. The entire infrastructure is kept, and though the digital arrest is not only happening in India, it's happening elsewhere also. And if you read the newspapers, around 250 or 300 were recently released from Laos. Last year they were released by Indian government from Myanmar. For Myanmar case was very interesting. So IT security guys, yeah, you should inform your security guys. They were called for a visa interview in Thailand. They got a job offer. They got the tickets, everything. They were loaded. They came down, around 15-20 of them. They loaded at the Bangkok bus airport. They got down and they said the office is pretty far away. It will be evening. They sat down. In the evening, they had drinks, dinner on the house. And when they slept, they crossed from Thailand to Myanmar. And that is where they arrested them into a building. And they cannot come out of it. And then they pleaded to the government, and it's a big exercise. So you cannot, it's very difficult when it crosses border.
Right.
Next.
Right. One final question, Neehar. I think we are nearing the cutoff time, and threat intelligence you mentioned early in your conversation.
Yes.
How are you helping enterprises get that necessary intelligence, to forecast or be proactive rather than be reactive to threats?
So threat intelligence is a very, very deep subject and a very expensive subject. So we have tied up with one of our partners. If you see, they have their people in the ransomware groups. They are there in the criminal telegram groups. Dark web marketplaces, you have people sitting there, and you see a lot of database dumps which have to be scanned and done. Recently, one of our customers, we got a monitoring alert, the Oracle leak which has happened. So the threat actor has released 140,000 domains of Oracle data. And Oracle is saying, no, it's not possible. While our software was monitoring, it found the domain of our customer also. And of course, they are in the migration of changing over to Oracle, so they had to seal it off. So this is how the threat intel comes. You have to be on a constant monitoring path. We also work with Government of India. We help them see what threat actors for what domains of government are active.
Right. I think, had a wonderful conversation with Neehar and lot of insights, and I always stand inspired with the conversation when I have this with him. I hope you have had the same feeling, right? And if there are any questions, our team is here. You can interact during the dinner. Thank you once again for your time. It was great having this conversation.
Thank you.
I must say, so far this has been the most enlightening fireside chat, and I think as an anchor, I have also learned so many new things from you all. So thank you so much for this. And also on behalf of all the guests present here, would like to specially thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Neehar ji. Hope that, good suggestions and good deliberations happen. Friends, special thanks to 63 SATs for creating awareness and connecting with the right business partners for securing your database, your monetary loss. And mostly the chamber is taking lead for particularly to bringing together all kinds of this, the service providers and value addition providers to improve your capacity, capabilities, and of course productivity. So friends, let us have now networking. डॉक्टर ने अभी आज ही बोला है कि 40 ml के ऊपर ज़्यादा लेना नहीं, तो आप लोग भी थोड़ा सा संभाल के, बिकॉज हेल्थ इज़ वेल्थ, जितनी आपकी हेल्थ अच्छी उतना वेल्थ बढ़ती जाएगी. सो हमारे गोरे साहब ने बताया वैसे ही है. सो लेट्स टेक एंजॉय नेटवर्किंग आउटसाइड. थैंक यू.